I wasn't planning on filming this video, but I thought that I'd share it because I watched the Mind of Mary video where she talks about how she failed at her dream and that for various reasons she wasn't able to pursue her dream of being an artist, and that she was going to try again, and that all of us have a story to tell that is worth telling, and that we all have love to give in this world. So I wanted to share my story. I don't know if anyone will care about this, but I hope that it will be something that gives you hope and encouragement for whatever dream that you decide to pursue. I want to try not to cry in this video because I know that I'm putting this video out for anyone to see. So I'll try and tell it quickly. I'm doing it in the morning before anyone is up and before I have enough time to think about it too much and think that I'm not going to tell the story. Not that it's terribly tragic or dramatic or anything like that. But let's start. So my art journey has started since I was really young. I've always loved art, and it's always been that safe space for me. It's always been the place where I could just be whoever I wanted and do whatever I wanted. And in secondary school, I was that annoying child that the teachers would always praise and be like, you have to be like this person, look at this person's art. And a part of me loved it, and a part of me really hated it. A part of me loved it, not for any kind of narcissistic or kind of arrogant emotions. It was more because someone was acknowledging my art, someone was liking that something that I was doing, and I really appreciated that encouragement at that young age, and I think it kind of gave me the confidence to do what I wanted, and I was so brave and so free and so bold. In A-levels it changed because I previously in GCSE I was doing kind of still life. I was doing more abstract work. But then naturally, as your art changes with you, as you change as a person, especially when you're at a young age and you're still figuring out what you like, naturally, even when I'm 60, I'm sure my art style will have changed drastically to where I am now. That's natural. So in sixth form, I was going into more of my surreal stage. And so I was treated a little bit differently by my art teachers. It went from kind of praise to kind of, I don't understand what you're doing. I don't think you should do that. I don't think you can easily get a high grade by doing what you're doing. So the sudden shift from high praise, we love what you're doing, you are at the top of the class, they're kind of being disregarded and abandoned, at least that's how I felt at the time, was quite challenging for me. And I think it stumped my confidence a lot, especially when it was someone who I looked up to, someone who I thought, well, if this person was saying that I was really good, then surely I am good. And so for it to kind of just flip-flop so drastically, it definitely changed how I felt about my art. And honestly, looking back, I feel like my art teachers were, well, one teacher in particular was definitely ridiculous. So even now, since sixth form, 6 years later, 7 years, however many years later it is, I still love octopuses. But one key thing, just to show you how ridiculous my art teacher was. So they really encourage you drawing from life. They say drawing from life is the best, okay, rather than an image, and it is. However, there are limitations to this. So I loved drawing octopuses. I discovered that, and they suggested that I bring a live octopus into school just to draw from. And this was wrong and unethical on so many levels. There's no way that I would be able to bring a live octopus into school where I'm in school for like 8 hours, 7 hours. Anyways, how on earth would that, like, there's no way I would be bringing a tank into school to draw it for an hour. It would, for it to be even practical, it'd be in one of those kind of plastic bags of water, and that is cruel. And I couldn't bring myself to do that, and so I bought an octopus plushie toy. I'll set a picture here with me with it. Which I named Mayo, short for kind of like my octopus, so I called it Mayo, taking the octopus out. So sometimes you might be seeing it, Mayo's head in the corner of my videos when we're on the sofa together, and so you can see how kind of ridiculous and how kind of like out of sorts my teachers were, kind of like really really rigid in their ways. Sorry, I'm going to be clearing my throat a lot because it's the morning, and it's just like I'm doing this video as soon as I woke up. So I then had a shift where I lost a lot of confidence in A levels, and I wasn't so sure about art anymore, but I knew that I was going to go into university and do a degree because that's what my parents wanted me to do. And my grandfather, who I love dearly, wanted me to do. So naturally, I followed these steps, and thankfully my parents were gracious enough to even allow me to do an art degree. I didn't quite get the the high enough A levels to get into at that time my dream university. A levels was a very tough time for me, partly to do with my art A levels, but also it was just new curriculum. It was a mess. My memory and my academic level was really challenged in that 2 years. But anyways, I did an art. I went to an kind of like a university that is known for the social sciences and arts, and I did an arts related degree. I won't go into specifics because then you'll be able to find my my details. Sorry, I had to switch off an alarm. But yeah, and during my arts university, my arts university course, I think I got quite pessimistic about art. Before I went into uni, I did an arts foundation, which I am really grateful that I did do. And because I had to do a college diploma in order to get the high enough qualification to then do this uni, thinking I was going to go into my dream uni, it turned out that I ended up diverting and going to a different uni to do this art degree. So I did my arts college, and that was a very interesting year for me because I gained my confidence in my art again, and that's when I had started my YouTube channel where I did my vlogs. So however, I will say all of this up to this point, it had always been fine art, and so it took me so long to even know that I was an illustrator, because illustration wasn't pushed very much at all in schools. Watercolor was also not pushed very much in schools. It was mainly oils and acrylic, and so that is what I was what I had learnt. I had no idea like how to draw caricatures or how to do cute illustrations or anything like that. It was more kind of fine art and realism. By the way, I hate realism. I've always hated realism, so it was a struggle for me. However, in our college, we were able to kind of broaden out in our fine art, and I went down the route of kind of like minimalism. Trust me, I've tried all sorts to find my art style. I've done collage, minimalism, landscapes, still lifes. I've done so many things. But it was all necessary to get me to where I am now, which was why I wanted to tell my story. So art college was good because it helped me explore YouTube, and I made watercolor tutorials. And even though I hate watercolor, never really learned it in school, I did it because I thought that's what I had to do. I thought because I'm Chinese and I'm an artist that watercolor made sense. And my dad encouraged me to do watercolor because his mum does watercolor and she's really good at it, and that is the kind of art that they can more easily appreciate. And so being an only child, being Chinese, being wanting to be, and like any child wanting to please their parent, I wanted to do that. So, but I didn't know how to do watercolor, so I did watercolor tutorials for beginners as a beginner, and I found no joy in it. I pursued it and I was very dedicated. I was doing weekly videos and I did progress in my watercolor, but it gave me nowhere near as much joy as when I was doing art that I wanted. However, I felt like it was absolutely necessary for me to do that, to pursue it, to know that yes, that is not what I want to do, that is not for me, but also to prove to myself that I could do watercolor, because for the longest time I thought I couldn't. And so going into university was different. I decided that I no longer wanted to do a fine art degree. I wanted to go into something art related, but not as an artist. And so I learned a lot about how it would be so difficult to be an artist, the mental health struggles, the financial struggles, the uphill journey that you would have to take, and it made me more pessimistic about having an art career. And I then decided after uni that I didn't know what I wanted to do. It went from my inner child saying like, I really want to be an artist, I know I'm an artist, to entering adulthood and being like, I'm so lost and I don't know what I want to do. So I kind of just followed the motions and I did what my father suggested, and I'm grateful for it because it means that I have a full-time job now that I enjoy. Although it's not my passion, it's not my dream job, it's a job that really suits me and it has a comfortable wage which helps me to do what I'm doing now in my art career. So I'm incredibly grateful for the position that I'm in. And when I look back at all of the different stages of my life and my art journey, I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and I had to go through all of these kind of insecurity stages, all these rejection stages to get to where I am. So now I'm talking about in terms of now that I have put art to one side, I entered into my normal kind of typical 9-to-5 job. So I have a stable income, I'm doing a normal job. And so I put art aside, and actually a lot of people around me, art always was kind of in the back of my mind, jabbing me to be like, you need to do art, you need to draw it, and I buried it constantly because I was like, no, I done that, I tried that, it's gonna be too hard and it's gonna be too unstable, and I don't know if I'm strong enough to really pursue that. So I did my 9 to 5 job and I thought, I'm gonna have a comfortable life and this is good. But a lot of people were kind of, I don't know how it came up, but I think I showed them my past drawings. I think here and there I would draw like occasionally, and then I would show my colleagues it, and they were so encouraging, and my boyfriend was also incredibly encouraging. I wouldn't been able to be here without the people around me. My parents, my boyfriend, my friends, my family, my colleagues. I wasn't expecting my colleagues to be so encouraging, and I'm so glad that I found a boyfriend that understands what I'm doing, who has a creative mind like me, and I'm able to bounce ideas off of. Like, a lot of my friends and family are not in the art scene, and they don't love art, they don't get it, and so I think I found myself being quite isolated. I felt like I didn't have the kind of support or an encouragement that that really big push to kind of get me to where I am now. And that's why I'm incredibly grateful to the people who encouraged me to make art and to try and pursue it in a somewhat career path. And trust me, I needed a lot of pushing and a lot of encouragement, because I had put myself down for so long. Sorry. So, let's fast forward to now. So after all that encouragement and my boyfriend really heavily supporting me, encouraging me, which I will forever be grateful for, I ended up here, where I decided that I was going to start a small business and I was going to draw my illustrations and make stickers. I figured that stickers made sense for me because I've always loved stickers. I have a sticker collection that I've kept since I was really young, and my mum bought me so many sticker packs. And also it made me think, like, well, I wouldn't be spending an extreme amount of money to make the stickers, and if no one bought my stickers, well, at least I had lots of stickers that I loved. So I felt like I had to keep reassuring myself that this wasn't a risky move, that, even if it didn't work out, that it would still be okay, that, I'm not going to put myself in any kind of financial debt, and why not give it a go? I think previously was kind of like, oh, you could always pursue your art as a hobby, and as long as it didn't cost that much. That was the kind of mentality that I had. But I think it really helped for me to get to this stage and have my own job where I had my own money, where I felt like I wouldn't be so much as a burden on my parents, because really good art supplies is really expensive, and going to a small business venture is also not cheap. I am trying to be very responsible with my purchases, which I think growing up with my parents, where we have been very careful with our money and very, in a way, frugal, and a lot of the things I'm trying to unlearn, which was helpful. I'm sorry, I'm going to be that girl who's always talking about her boyfriend, but the cultural differences between me and my boyfriend is not Chinese, he is British born Cypriot. And so although there are some similarities, there are some stark differences. Maybe it's also just personality wise, but he's helped me to kind of unlearn how to be like, not to be so frugal. And I think that was really important for me, to be able to spend money on myself, especially now that I have my own money. It made it so much more easier to be like, you know what, this small business is something that I want to pursue, and I have the money, my money that I've earned, to pursue it, and I wouldn't have to burden my parents, and it's my choice. It hasn't been an easy journey to get here. Now I am drawing anything that I want. I have free reign to decide what I want to do, and I'm putting like no limits on myself now, and I have confidence in my art. I love my art so much, and I am drawing octopuses again, and I feel so free, honestly. But there's no way I would be able to get to this point without all of those years of ups and downs, and trying new things, and being rejected, and being insecure, and, you know, all of these stages make you as a person. And I think, like, all of those times where I'm watching those videos on how to find your art style, and there honestly isn't a way to kind of speed it up. You can draw and draw and draw, but I think you as a person, I think deep within you, you have to kind of learn and grow and mature and find out who you are, which takes time. And I think being on this journey that we call life is very important for your art style, to find who you are, and for that to translate into your art. So I'm incredibly grateful for where I am now, and I am making my inner child happy again by drawing. And my life will never be the same again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it brought you joy. I hope that it's inspired you somehow. I hope that none of my colleagues or future employers is watching this video and being like, oh my gosh, she's such a mess. But I thought it was important to share this. I was thinking about it last night and this morning, and I was flip-flopping on the idea of actually filming this, because I knew that it would be an emotional one for me. But I thought if it brought someone hope and gave people encouragement, and, you know, it did some good out there in the world, then it would be worth it. So I'm really, really excited to show you my progress on doing my small business, and what I've learned, the mistakes I've made, and the fun that I've been having, the emotional turmoil that I'll be going through, but will come out of it stronger and wiser and better. I want you to be patient with yourself. I think I've said this in all the videos that I've done since I've started on this journey, but being patient with yourself, forgiving yourself, and it's just so important. So I'm going to stop rambling, and I'm going to leave it here. But I hope that you stay true to yourself. I hope you keep drawing, and I hope you do what you truly love, and not think too much about doing what pleases others, or what you should be doing, or, you know, or letting other people's opinions affect you so deeply. Of course they will, because we're human. We care about what other people think. But I think at this point now, I've reached a stage where I've gone through all of that, and it's made me so much stronger, so much more confident, that I am not even like fazed by what people say anymore, and I don't think I would have been able to start a small business had it been earlier, because I wouldn't have gotten the confidence to do it. I would have backed out. So everything happens for a reason, and I really truly thank God for blessing me so much with the people around me and the privilege that I have to be supported by those around me, and having a stable job that gives me a wage that I can live comfortably and also pursue something that I've always wanted to do. And so I hope that this has inspired you, and if you want to follow along my journey, you know where the subscribe button is. I hate to be that person at the end of the video, but yes. But anyways, I'm going to end the video here now, and I hope you have an amazing 2025. It's gonna be an interesting one for sure. Okay, bye.